Maya Carter had her whole life ahead of her. At just 24, she was an aspiring journalist, determined to expose corruption and uncover the truth, no matter the cost. But on the morning of August 17th, everything changed. Her lifeless body was found sprawled on the pavement beneath her apartment window, 6 stories up. The police ruled it a suicide. Case closed. But not for Detective Jordan Graves. Graves had seen too many cases hastily labeled as suicide when the truth was far more sinister. Something about Maya's death didn't sit right. The bruises on her arms, the shallow wounds on her wrists, staged to resemble self-harm, didn't align with the clean-cut narrative the police wanted to believe. Then there was her apartment door, locked from the inside, and a deleted voicemail on her phone, recovered only after forensic analysis. A voicemail that contained a chilling message. They know. It's too late. I'm sorry. Who was Maya talking to? And who were they? Graves knew the official report was riddled with holes. So he started digging, retracing Maya's last steps. She had been working on an explosive story, one she had confided to her best friend, Lisa Moreno. But Lisa, shaken and frightened, refused to speak at first. I don't know what you're talking about, she insisted, her voice trembling. Graves leaned forward. Lisa, I think Maya was murdered. If you know something, now is the time to say it. Tears welled in Lisa's eyes. She hesitated, then finally whispered, she said someone was following her. She thought her phone was tapped. A week ago, she told me if anything happened to her, it wouldn't be an accident. That was all Graves needed to hear. Maya's laptop was missing from her apartment, but her backup hard drive was found hidden in her closet. With the help of the department's tech analyst, Graves uncovered emails between Maya and an anonymous whistleblower. The subject line of the last email sent to her read, "Do not publish. They will kill you." The email detailed a secret operation linked to a powerful corporation, Westbridge Industries. Money laundering, bribery, and even alleged disappearances of people who had tried to expose them before. Graves got twisted. If Maya had been silenced, then Westbridge Industries would do anything to keep it that way. That night, as Graves left the precinct, he felt it, the unmistakable weight of being watched. He turned down an alleyway, his hand brushing the holster of his firearm. A flicker of movement caught his eye. Detective Graves, a deep voice rasped from the shadows. Graves' pulse spiked. He couldn't see the man's face, but the tone carried a warning. Walk away from the Carter case. Graves took a slow step forward. Who are you? You're in over your head, the voice continued. They don't just kill, they erase. Before Graves could react, the figure melted into the darkness. The next morning, Graves arrived at the morgue, determined to re-examine Maya's body. The pathologist, Dr. Ellis, had initially signed off on the suicide ruling but agreed to take a second look. And what she found changed everything. Maya had defensive wounds, Ellis admitted, pulling back the sheet to reveal faint bruising along her wrists and a hairline fracture on her left forearm. She fought back. Graves' jaw tightened. So she didn't jump. Ellis shook her head. No, detective. She was pushed. The weight of the revelation pressed down on Graves. This wasn't suicide. This was murder. But who wanted Maya dead? And why did they go to such great lengths to make it look like she took her own life? Then his phone buzzed. An unknown number. He hesitated before answering. Graves. A distorted voice crackled through the line. If you keep digging, you'll end up just like her. The line went dead. Graves clenched his fists. This wasn't just about Maya anymore. This was about stopping whoever thought they could play judge, jury, and executioner. And he wasn't about to back down. Graves sat in his office, staring at the crime scene photos spread across his desk. The bruises on Maya Carter's wrists, the shallow cuts along her arms, the peculiar angle of her neck, none of it sat right with him. The medical examiner had ruled it a suicide, but Graves knew better. Someone had staged this scene, and he was going to find out why. Just as he reached for his coffee, his phone buzzed. It was Officer Rachel Lawson. "You're going to want to see this," she said, her voice tight with urgency. "I pulled Maya's phone records like you asked." Graves arrived at the precinct within minutes. Rachel was waiting for him, a stack of papers and a laptop open in front of her. Her last call was to a burner phone, 10 minutes before her estimated time of death. Graves frowned. "And we can't trace it?" Rachel shook her head. "It was turned off right after the call ended. But that's not all. I checked her messages. Look at this." She turned the laptop toward him. On the screen was a conversation between Maya and an unknown number. The most recent message, received just hours before her death, sent a chill down Graves' spine. "You talk, you die. We warned you." Graves exhaled sharply. She was being threatened. Rachel nodded. "And whoever sent this wasn't bluffing." Graves clenched his jaw. The pieces of the puzzle were shifting, but they were still far from complete. If Maya had been silenced, what had she known? And who was so desperate to keep it hidden? Graves and Rachel decided their next move was to revisit Maya's roommate, Vanessa Brooks. When they arrived at the apartment, Vanessa looked even more shaken than before. "I told you everything I know," she whispered, glancing at the door as if expecting someone to burst in. Graves leaned forward. "Vanessa, Maya was receiving threats. We need to know what she was involved in." Vanessa hesitated, her hands trembling. Finally, she swallowed hard and said, "Maya, she was working on something. Something big." Graves exchanged a glance with Rachel. "What do you mean?" "She was investigating something at her job, something about missing money and fake records." Vanessa's voice dropped to a whisper. She thought someone was laundering money through the firm she worked for. Graves' pulse quickened. "Her law firm?" Vanessa nodded. "She said she found proof, but she didn't tell me what it was. She was scared. She kept saying she had to be careful." Graves felt a cold weight settle in his chest. If Maya had uncovered financial corruption, that could explain why someone wanted her dead. He pressed further. "Did she ever mention names?" Vanessa shook her head. "No, but a few days before she died, she said someone from the firm warned her to stop digging." Rachel frowned. "Do you remember who?" Vanessa hesitated. I think it was her boss, Daniel Whitmore." Graves scribbled the name in his notepad. Whitmore was a well-respected attorney, known for handling high-profile corporate cases. If he was involved, this case was about to take a dangerous turn. Later that night, Graves sat in his dimly lit apartment, sifting through Maya's case file when his phone rang. It was Rachel. "You're not going to believe this," she said, her voice edged with urgency. Vanessa's apartment was broken into. Graves was on his feet in an instant. "Is she okay?" "She wasn't home, but the place is trashed. Someone was looking for something." Graves grabbed his coat and rushed to the scene. Vanessa was standing outside, visibly shaken, wrapped in a blanket. "They took my laptop, and Maya's old journal." Her voice was barely above a whisper. Graves' stomach nodded. "Maya's journal?" Vanessa nodded. "She wrote everything down. If they took it, they know what she knew." Rachel cursed under her breath. This isn't just about covering their tracks anymore. They're making sure no one can expose them. Graves exhaled. The case had just escalated. Someone was willing to go to extreme lengths to bury the truth. But what scared him more than anything was what Vanessa said next. "I think I was being followed earlier today." Determined to get answers, Graves and Rachel paid an unannounced visit to Daniel Whitmore's office the next day. The man behind the desk barely looked up from his papers as they entered. "Detectives, what can I do for you?" Graves didn't waste time. We have reason to believe Maya Carter's death wasn't a suicide. She was investigating something at this firm. You wouldn't happen to know what that was, would you? Whitmore's jaw twitched. Miss Carter was a bright young woman, but she had a tendency to overstep. She was digging where she shouldn't have. Rachel narrowed her eyes. And where was that, exactly? Whitmore leaned back in his chair, a slow, knowing smile spreading across his lips. Detectives, sometimes people find themselves in situations they don't fully understand. Maya thought she was onto something. But I assure you, there is no conspiracy here. Graves studied him. Whitmore was too confident, too calculated. He was hiding something. But before Graves could push further, Whitmore added, I'd be careful if I were you. Some questions aren't meant to be answered. Graves stiffened. It wasn't just a dismissal, it was a warning. That night, Graves couldn't shake the feeling that they were running out of time. He drove to his apartment, exhausted but determined. As he parked, his phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number. You're asking the wrong questions, detective. Keep pushing, and you'll end up just like her. A chill ran down his spine. At that moment, he noticed something in his rearview mirror, a black SUV, engine idling, headlights off. Then, the driver's door opened. Someone was coming for him. It's not over. This is only the beginning.